Hey, this is Jonathan, Conscious Endeavors. I'm back from a long break. I felt a little uninspired and a little unmotivated, so I had to walk away for a little while. Episode 54, I believe. I did a 40-day, 40-night fast just to see if I could do it. I pushed myself to the limit. I wasn't going to accept no for an answer. I've struggled with my attachments for most of my life, since I've been 15 years old, and even before then. I'd say a lot of my attachments started right around the age 10 with food. They put so many garbage chemicals in the food to make you go and purchase constantly. And it's all for greed reason. It's all about money. It's all so the big corporations, the bad guys, in other words, can make all the money because this world revolves around greed and selfishness. Part of the reason I'm doing Conscious Endeavors is because I like to give people something to think about. And I always wanted my own talk show. So I guess I'm kind of doing this my own way. So I went on a 40-day, 40-night fast. And at the beginning of the fast, my goal was only to reach 48 hours. So I only wanted to do 2 days. After 48 hours, I realized, you know what, I feel pretty good. So let's go 3 days, 72 hours. At the end of the third day of fasting, I felt pretty good, so I said, let me try 5. From 5 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Those are the intervals that I pushed myself. I did not have one meal for 40 days, 40 nights. I went from 246 pounds down to 180. Maybe a little bit less. I gained some weight back because, unfortunately, I'm back on my food addiction with the sugars. I did the 40-day fast for several reasons. But one is to prove to myself that I can do it. 2 is to see how strong and heavy the addiction is. They say that sugar is more addictive than heroin, statistically. 3, I wanted to see if it could be done in general. What inspired me was the Bible. Jesus Christ supposedly went into the wilderness and fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. So I wanted to see how Jesus felt. I wanted to apply myself to what people are doing around the world, and to see if it can even be possible, to see if it could even be true. I detoxed my body incredibly. I've seen so many wonderful changes. I've learned so much about fasting and health and how you can kickstart the healing process in the body once you start fasting. You see, there's a misconception that when you're sick or ill that you need to eat good food, that you need to take in a bunch of vitamins. There's a misconception that if you don't eat, well, you're starving yourself. False. If you want to kickstart your body in a healing mode, now if you're dealing with any kind of disease, illness, cancer, etc., you fast. It is well known that in the medical field, I'm very cautious when I talk about the medical field, especially Rockefeller protocol, because most of it's garbage. But it is very well known that the body kickstarts itself into the healing modality on its own, by itself, once you start to fast. If you have any irregularities in your body, if you have any kind of skin conditions, I've noticed with my own personal experience, a lot of these things went away once I started to fast. I never knew that fasting was so healthy for you. I wanted to give my own experience. I want to talk about my own experience. And I'm very hard on myself. And I push myself very much, so I can see if I can do it. I'm always trying to be a better person than I was the day before. I'm always trying to be better than yesterday. I'm in competition with no one, but I'm always trying to be better than I was yesterday. And this is one of the greatest accomplishments that I've ever done. 40-day, 40-night fast. Like I said, I did not have one meal. It was a water fast. So I drank water every day. Tried to do the 8 glasses, but that's not always possible. So I tried to drink as many bottles, as many ounces as I could. Maybe I did around 5 a day or more. So my suggestion to you is, if you feel bad, if you suffer from a food addiction, if you're overweight, if you're obese, or if you are sick, I highly recommend fasting. If you would like to be cautious, go ahead and seek a holistic healer to guide you through the fast in case you get into any trouble or in case you need support. But I did it with no medical attention whatsoever. I just did it. On day 3, I did a really hot detox bath with baking soda, Epsom sea salt, and borax detergent. This is supposed to be a detox for nanotech in the body system to release toxins and nanotech. So I turned the hot bath as hot as I possibly could, and a vasoconstriction occurred. I think that my body, my blood vessels, and my veins constricted or didn't constrict, but opened up. And because my veins opened up, my heart was pounding and working a lot harder to push the blood through my veins, that I felt like I was going to pass out. I almost felt like I needed an ambulance. Then I took one morsel of food on day 3. It was a vegan bread that we made, and it came right out. Not only did that come out, but I was running to the toilet as well. So I was simultaneously vomiting and running to the toilet. So even though I vomited, I still count that as being part of my fast. As I vomited the food, my body was rejecting all food. So it was a learning experience. There's a couple of other things that I did. Instead of eating food, I took these electrolyte packets that I was taking, but I realized that it caused me to break out really badly. You could actually see some scabbing on my nose because of how bad I broke out. The electrolyte packets are not good for you, I found. It messes with your nerves. They put chemicals in the packets also to make you addicted to run back, to drink more water. So you can get addicted to these packets because of the sweetness, the flavor, the NutraSweet or the aspartame, whatever they put in it, because there's no sugar. So I slipped a little bit because I felt my body needed electrolytes because of my fasting and because of my water fasting. So I did the best that I could to try to replace the food with electrolytes and water. I made a couple mistakes along the way. Never going to take those electrolyte packets again. I guess it depends on what company also you use. These were like cheap dollar store brand. They were only like $1 a box. I highly recommend fasting for many, many reasons. It's to fight a food addiction, to lose weight, for research purpose and for personal experience, just so you know that you can go. Some doctors say up to 70 days without food. Okay? There are people in India who have gone 70 plus years without a meal and without water. This is also called Breatharianism. So I am slowly working my way into becoming a breatharian. So the misconception that I spoke of earlier, that you need food and if you don't eat proper food then you are starving yourself, is false. Like I said, this is a misconception, because we can live off of the energy of the sun. We could live off of energy from nature, from absorbing negative ions from the earth, which is called grounding and earthing. And we could also get energy from breath work, and we can gain energy from meditation. So during my 40-day fast, I did just that. I tried grounding as much as I could in the cold, in the winter. You can take it, even for a few minutes, go outside barefoot. Absorb the negative ions from the earth. Go in the sun, absorb the sun rays. Do your breath work. One of my favorite breathwork mentors is Wim Hof. One secret that I did that not too many people know about is that when you, and this I found on my own, I found out this information on my own by applying myself and by experimenting. If you feel hungry, and if you can take it, if you can get away from food and get away from the food addiction, every time you feel hungry, do your breath work, and you'll notice that your hunger will go away. I can do as minimally as 20 to 30 deep breaths. Just like this. Or 2 deep in, slow out. 2 deep in, slow out. And you will notice that your food addiction, your hunger will slowly dissipate. If there's any scarce food around, or if you want to save money, I highly recommend fasting, doing breath work, meditation, absorbing negative ions from the earth, earthing, grounding. This is like, once again, I'm striking gold with information, and I feel like I hit the lottery with information, and I just want to tell everyone. Because this is so profound. This is so amazing. So if you feel down on yourself because you're overweight, obese, if you feel down on yourself because you suffer from a food addiction, like me, if you feel down on yourself because you're trying to create goals for yourself and you're always failing at them, which is I get from my experience a lot, do your best to go small increments, smaller intervals. Like I said, when I started the 40-day, 40-night fast, I didn't plan to go 40 days when I started. I only wanted to do 2 days. I only wanted to do 48 hours. That was my goal, okay? But when I did 48 hours, I felt good. I felt like I didn't need food. I did my breath work, I did my meditation, I did my grounding, my earthing. I felt great. Also, I lost a lot of weight. Something I wanted to do for many years. For many years, I had a big belly, a big pot belly from eating. And I was always down on myself because I was overweight. I was always heavier. And because of my weight issue, I was pushing 300 pounds at one time several years ago. Because of my weight issues, it gave me a degenerative spinal disease. So my weight was pushing and pressing down, causing my discs to wear away. Now my spine's grinding bone on bone, the so-called experts are saying. They told me they couldn't do anything to help me. They told me the only thing that I could do was to take opiates, medications. Okay? This is baloney. This is garbage. Do not listen to Rockefeller protocol. Nurses and doctors are brainwashed and indoctrinated into a system, just like everyone else's, to follow certain protocols so they can make money. Their objective is not to get you healthy. Their objective is to make big money and to create business. There are other objectives too, more nefarious objectives. Like they don't care if people live or die, for instance. It's all about greed. It's all about money. It's all about power. It's all about complacency. Okay? Wake up. Conscious endeavors.